Got the Ram back. Feels pretty good having a work truck again. I just feel naked when I go to the woods without all my stuff. I like everything. I like my fuel tank, I like my tools, even though I'm not really a wrench turner. I still like to have them there. And I like having my 661s back. People ask me all the time my thoughts on that 500i. And some people really like it. I don't. I do not like the 500i we have. I tell people it's the first only and last one we'll ever buy. Just not a fan of them. I think they bog down too easy. The thing I don't like about them, they don't have the torque these 661s do. Now the thing I do like about them is how easy they start. I think they're easy starting saws. They seem to run good, they just don't have the torque that I like in a saw for cutting. We run this hex chain. Before that we run full chisel, and it just seems like if you really try to give it the beans, she'll bog down. And it's not saying these 661s won't, but nothing like the 500s will. So we're 661 fans. I've got two brand new ones on that truck that have never even been started. The one I'm using, it's probably getting at least a year on it now, maybe more. But I keep them in those boxes and they look brand new all the time. They're out of the sun. I like that. I like having nice, good looking saws. And we just keep a rotation. We buy a lot of saws, but in that rotation, once saws start getting a little older, we'll just kind of put them back and use them for part saws. That way we've always got good, fresh, clean running saws that are ready to go to work. And if you have a mishap, you've got parts readily available on hand. Dad's back there in my Ram. I'm going to go over here and try to cut the last few of these trees over here in this little grove. And then I'm going to have to go for a walk on down the creek on the west side to make sure we didn't miss anything over there. And then if we didn't, we're going to move this skidder to a different part of the farm and start cutting on another group of walnuts. To start off with here this morning. Found a pretty good one down here on the creek. Kind of an area I didn't walk or go with the skidder. I was sure to walk both directions where I'd already been, but kind of surprised to see that big devil down in there. It's pretty sappy. It's still a good log, but it's sappy. Got some footage in it though. I've dragged these out to Dad. Let him get them marked up, bucked up. We're going to go on down the creek with the skidder and see if there's anything on down below here. Now bear with me, I'm trying to film with one hand and run the grapple with the other, and I don't normally run my grapple or my shifter with my left hand. I don't normally do this either. I don't like doing this, but luckily this door here's got all the things to keep it from getting up in the tires there. With the glare, I want to look out in there kind of like I'm doing. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Some small walnut, nothing big enough to cut yet. Good promising stand of trees for the future. Quick run through of where we've already been just to make sure I've got everything. I went through and even kind of pushed some of these tops up a little bit, tried to kind of keep them consolidated, which the landowner wasn't too concerned about that, but still I like to try to keep things nice and neat if we can. So like a lot of these tops, whenever we fall them, we go ahead and cut them up to where they try to lay flatter. Whenever you log, you know, there's always a bit of a mess, but the goal is to always try to leave as small a footprint as possible, which depending on the area and where you're cutting and what you're doing, you know, it's easier said than done sometimes, but we do what we can. Said this is the landowner, they run a beef cattle operation as well as row crop, about 1,200 acres, I believe he told me, but they lease out a lot of the hunting rights. So a lot of these brush piles, they make great cover for deer, other wildlife. Just I like to see them there myself personally. So today we're on the north part of this farm here cutting. first day of cutting up here on the north side of it. Yesterday, being Tuesday, I spent just about all day in Jefferson City, Missouri, up the state capitol, with the Missouri Logging Council, Missouri Forest Products Association. I'm very active in both of those organizations because they do so much for loggers and sawmills throughout the state of Missouri. And I think it's important to be active in your state and national associations, much like I am with Missouri Logging Council and American Logging Council. A lot of great people. Of course, I get to go up there, and it's not all business. We get to eat dinner and kind of have fun with the friends too. I see a lot of my friends up there that are in the business, so it's always good to get to catch up. We do those twice a year. We have a winter meeting and a summer meeting, and throughout the year there'll be regional meetings, which I try to go to when I can if they're close to where I am here in this part of Missouri. But today, as you can see here, I'm going to try to fish out some of these walnut we cut this morning. Not super big trees, but they're tall trees. They've got some good quality, and there's a lot of them. Let's see if we can grab this guy here. Come on now. I know you can't see anything. That's all right, I can. I'm going to try to swing him around here. I think he'll go. But as I said, these are not great big trees like what we were cutting a week ago, but the quality is really good. They're just good, tall, uniform trees. The height is what's going to keep us in the footage on them. And there are a few ornery trees down here like there aren't any stands. There's a ton of pallet material, but the landowner does not want to cut the pallet. That's okay. Maybe at another time we can come back and do that. A lot of it here, a lot of water oak, sycamore, some ash, very little maple, some hickory. Some ornery tree back there. Of course, as you guys know, when I cut a tree, I try to salvage everything I can. So anything that we can sell and take to market, it's coming out with us in the grapple. I'm going to try to set this one down over here. And I'm going to reach back there and grab that other one and get him up beside. Maybe go a little further. See if we can take him back a little bit. Guess we got cut off there. Anyway, all the timber on the other side of the creek, we will actually take out on the other side of the creek. They've got a crossing here that they've been crossing in like a Polaris Ranger, something similar. I don't want to take the skidder across there with heavy loads because I'm afraid there's not going to be enough rock at the bottom of that creek to keep us held up. And we don't want to destroy that crossing or disturb the creek in any way, shape, or form like that. So we'll just go around the other side. Now, like these ditches here, like I just crossed, I don't mind crossing them. There's no water in them right now anyway. And the skidder can actually fit across on their roads. Let's see if we can hook up here.
Grab that one.
I don't know what you guys can see. Probably not much. Dad's up here on the deck marking logs, and we're not going to try to just set the world on fire today with production. Like I said, I've got other things I've got to do this afternoon. We've got to be down around the Springfield, Willard, Missouri area to look at a track of walnut this afternoon. So we need to get that done, and they're calling for some wintry mix tonight, rain, changing the snow tonight into tomorrow. Then I just checked the weather the first of next week. Actually, the first 4 days right now, they've got rain in the forecast, which doesn't look real good. But we'll just try to make the most of it and do what we can. Climb up out of this hole here and get up to the deck. are getting fed when they see this green skidder. We're used to seeing a green tractor with a hay bale on it. As I said, tall trees, not super big on the diameter, which there are some better trees down there. We'll get to them in a later video, at a later day on the cutting, but they are tall. And that's where we'll make up for it on our footage at, just in the height. So, a bit of a snowy day. We had a pretty good little snowstorm this morning, which the ground's still pretty warm here because it's 62 degrees yesterday. So, basically all we got now is a loblolly, which is going to make logging a little greasy the next few days. So, today I've been working on paperwork, which I don't take enough days to do stuff like that. I really don't. I let it pile up until it's just overwhelming and it's a disaster, but I had some stuff I really had to do to get some certifications I need for some upcoming projects, which we'll touch on those at a later date. I won't talk about them in the videos now until we start, but if all goes through, there'll be some really interesting projects. I'm really excited to do it. It's not generally the type of stuff I look to do, but the opportunity was presented to me, and it was just a good opportunity. The certifications were just, I won't need them very often, but just to say that I have them it's pretty cool. It's logging and forestry related, so don't think it's anything else. But today, I'm in the Star. We're letting it build up air, which it's already built up, but we're going to hook up to the Beaver that's right here behind me, and we're going to go down to Murphy in Springfield, and we're going to get the 12H and bring it home. It is done. I think Brandon's going to ride along with me, and it's always nice having an extra set of hands help boom and chain stuff down, and we're going to get it home. We had so many people telling us what we needed to do to fix the problem, and again, why I'm so hesitant to listen to a lot of the free advice that is handed out so eagerly on social media networks about checking this, checking that, checking this. So we take the machine to Deere, and it turns out it's a bad wiring harness on the engine. It's not really fuel related at all in a sense. So rather than to listen to a lot of people who had their own theories and ideas of what the problem was, it's just as easy to take it back to Deere sometimes, let them plug the computer into it and see what the problem is. Yeah, it costs a little more money sometimes. In this case, it was probably cheaper because we'd been chasing our tail on something that wasn't even a problem. When we take it back to them and let them actually diagnose the problem, they fixed it, the machine's ready, it's got some paperwork with it, it says, hey, this has been done, it's been done, at least to their spec, done right, so it's kind of got a little bit of a warranty with it, for 90 days or however long they're going to do it. But we're going to get that machine back to the yard. Hopefully this weekend we're going to get that little 540G right over there. We're going to get hauled to a job, because we've got some things, some jobs, it's overwhelming sometimes, all the things we have to do. But for now, let's get this thing hooked up, and we'll wait on Brandon. We're going to Springfield. We stopped here. We're going to go ahead and grab the skid steer since we're close. Need to get it off this job. These are just end trimmings. Landowner stated he wanted them for firewood, so it worked out great. I don't have to pile them up or push them. Even better. So that worked out good. I'm going to take the grapple off and leave it with the trailer, because I got to come back get the trailer by ram. Brandon's out there kicking the ramps down on the Beaver. I'm winded because I run up here and I'm a fat kid. I'll go ahead and I'll take two hands, but I'll uncouple the grapple and get this thing loaded. The couplers are a pain sometimes. We're going to go. It's cold. But you talked about that. I was on the phone with Dylan about a job of timber. We were trying to load that. We're trying to get up there in time. It's late in the day, so gotta go. All right. to be running good now. Brandon just kicked off the skid steer. Oh yeah, he's behind me here. So he's got the skid steer off. We checked it in. We're not going to waste any time here. We're going to get this thing glued down so we can get out of here, get on the road, get back to Stockton with it. Deere was actually shutting the gates when we got here. They shut the north entrance. They close early. Service does. They need to be working. We are glued down, chained down everywhere. We're ready to get out of here. We're going to be pushing it before it gets super dark. So, short on the video, all from the trucking, we're ready to go.